Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers. Welcome to a brand new Doctor Who review for today. So what Doctor Who story do you think I'm going to be reviewing? Well, technically, I'm going to be reviewing two stories. That's right, two absolutely stories. So what are these two stories do you think I'm going to be reviewing? Now, these two stories aren't classed as canon. One of these was done for the 40th anniversary of Doctor Who, and of course, the other one was actually a comic release special in 1999. So I'm going to be talking about the other one first, the 1999 one. Now, this one, for me, I actually did watch this one a couple of years ago. I found it's available on YouTube, but I got it on VHS, so I've watched it on VHS a lot just recently. And of course, we have some great stuff in this. It's not really classed as canon, but you do have some other stuff going on. We have 5 versions of the Doctor. Also, we have the return of the Master, played by, I can't remember his actual name, but he reminds me a bit of a Roger DeGardo type. And of course, we have the return of the Daleks. Now, when you actually have the whole new opening scene, like the whole title scene, they actually reused the 1970s one for this. The one thing I really think they should not have used, they actually used the opening credit bit from the TV movie, where you see the TARDIS travelling inside the time vortex from the TV movie. Now, of course, we have got quite a few great stuff going on in this story. We have some quite good actors playing the Doctor. We have Hugh Grant. We have Richard E. Grant. We also have the person that plays Roy Slater in Only Fools and Horses, and he later became Professor Slughorn in Harry Potter in the Half-Blood Prince. Also, we have a first female Doctor in this story as well. But more importantly, the one Doctor that had a lot of screen time during the story is played by a very great actor who you probably know him as Mr. Bean or Johnny English or Blackadder. It is Rowan Atkinson. So here is Doctor Who, The Curse of Fatal Death cover. Rowan Atkinson is the main Doctor in this, and my God, it is a great video. I absolutely love it. It's a great story as well. Now, as a little bit you don't know about the story, this story, believe it or not, was actually written by Doctor Who old showrunner Stephen Moffat. This is his very first piece of Doctor Who he actually ever did, and really, you can understand where the female Doctor came, because this is the first time it was actually introduced into Doctor Who, but it's not really as I say, it's not really classed as canon. It's just there. It's only been released on VHS, really. It wasn't actually released on DVD, which I really think it's not a great thing to do. I really should get a DVD release. I think people will love it. Come on, I would actually love it if we could have Rowan Atkinson as a main incarnation of the Doctor. He plays it spot on in this. Absolutely amazing. And I really wish we could have Rowan Atkinson back as the Doctor. So when it opens up, you have the Doctor's TARDIS and the Master. Well, you have the Master watching the Doctor saying, "You're filing your TARDIS into a deadly trap." And the Doctor goes, "I'm afraid you just turned off your screen, by the way. I can still hear you." "I know that. Curse you, Doctor." Now, when the Doctor tells him to meet on the planet Tercerus in Reveling Time and don't try to be late. Again, I absolutely do like this story because you have the Doctor played by Rowan Atkinson literally teasing the Master. So when the Doctor arrives on the planet Tercerus, you kind of have his companion Emma in this. Now, this is where we kind of see stuff happen in this. The Doctor is retiring from saving the universe to go and get married to a human. This is another lovey-dovey story. Another crappy lovey-dovey story. I really hate the lovey-dovey stuff in Doctor Who. I really hate the Doctor having relationships. Go back to Classic Who. That's all I'm saying. Go back to Classic Who, where there's no relationship stuff going on. It's just the Doctor showing a human the entire whole universe. No lovey-dovey bollocks crap stuff. Anyway, the Doctor's there telling the Master that he wants to retire. The Master's there shocked. He goes, like that, when he kisses his companion. And the Master also tries to create a trap. So he ends up falling down the sewers of Tercerus. Now, the Tercerans have not really made a Doctor Who appearance at all. They were mentioned in the story because they actually recalled this was actually called the planet of the bottom burpers, because they can only communicate by breaking wind. Again, when you see the Doctor like get hit by the sonic beam, well, that's about the Dalek ship, and the Master's there trying to make an alliance with the Daleks, and the Daleks are there planning to kill the Masters. The Doctor's there breaking wind to try and warn the Master about the Daleks' plan to exterminate him on the spot. Again, when the Doctor gets hit, he turns into Richard E. Grant, then into the one that plays Professor Slughorn and Roy Slater in Harry Potter and Only Fools and Horses, and then he regenerates into Hugh Grant. And then you kind of have his companion goes, result, like that, because she actually likes the Doctor's last body. And then he gets hit by the subsonic beam again, and he basically dies. When they think the Doctor's dead, the Master is there gobsmacked because the Doctor has regenerated into this female version. And it basically ends with the Master and the Doctor just walking off talking. Yeah. I don't really like the lovey-dovey stuff they do in this. Again, it's great because we actually see what Rowan Atkinson could do in the role of the Doctor. I would absolutely love to see Rowan Atkinson back as the Doctor. He gives such a great performance in this story. It really does give a great performance. So that's it for Curse of Fatal Death. So that's literally my main review on that story. I'm going to say that. So the next story I'm going to be reviewing. Now this one has Richard E. Grant as the Ninth Doctor. An ultimate version of the Ninth Doctor. So we have... literally, Richard E. Grant did play the 10th Doctor in this story. Where in this one he plays another ultimate version of the Ninth Doctor. And we also have Sir Derek Jacobi, who plays the Master. And who also plays the Master. So here is the story I'm talking about. It is Doctor Who, Scream of the Shalka. Yeah, Scream of the Shalka. I have to say, it's such a shame this one isn't canon. It's a great story. I love the whole screaming aliens. I forget the actual species names. Now, this one is actually full-on cartoon, like you do for Power and other stuff. I would actually like to see this get the Blu-ray treatment. Bring this out in HD. High definition it, have it in steelbook is what I say. Again, I love the story. I think it's great. It's 6 parts long. It has such a great dynamic of Doctor Who. The title sequence has the bit of John Pertwee's titles, and then you kind of have a bit of lightning hitting the titles with the titles spinning. Now, Richard E. Grant's version of the Doctor made by cartoon, it reminds me a bit of John Pertwee's Doctor, as well as the attitude of the first Doctor. I mean, if you look at the way they've done his hair, he looks a bit like William Hartnell's Doctor, and he has the dress sense of Hartnell and Pertwee. Again, I love it at the end of part 1 when you have these alien creatures coming through the floorboards, and he's there talking to this human and her boyfriend going, I know about monsters, I'm the Doctor. And then it comes up going, like that, screaming, and then it just goes straight to the credits where it goes, the Doctor, Richard E. Grant. I absolutely do love this kind of story. It's a great actual story. It's such a shame it's not actually canon, because it was actually made not canon when they announced Christopher Eccleston was actually the real Ninth Doctor. Now, again, I do love this story. It shows how much Richard E. Grant can be. It shows Richard Grant is great as the Doctor. Richard E. Grant, I would actually like to see him as the Doctor. Unfortunately, that is really impossible now, because Richard E. Grant's already been in Doctor Who when he played the Great Intelligence, and I don't really think they're going to say, oh dear, you were the Great Intelligence. We really don't think, we would like you to come back and play the Doctor at some point, but nah. No, I don't think they would actually ever do that. It's such a shame, because Richard E. Grant gives, even though he's like doing his voice and it's animated, he literally gives a great performance as the Doctor, and I love it. And Derek Jacobi gives a great performance as the Master. I'm grateful Derek Jacobi did come back as the Master in Series 3, only for a little scene of it. And then, of course, we do have in Big Finish the audio stuff of the War Master. I absolutely do like the story. I like it's such a shame at the end of it, the Doctor and the Master go off and they leave this human behind who basically I think would have actually made a great companion for the story. Now this is, as I say, it's 6 parts. If you haven't seen this story before, it is absolutely spot on, because this is the first official, fully animated Doctor Who story. This is the very first time Doctor Who came out in animation, and it pulled off really, really well. Now, I remember watching this in primary school. I remember going on to the computer. I think it was primary or secondary school. I can't remember where it was. I think it was primary. Could be wrong there. I remember going onto the school's computer, typing in Doctor Who on BBC iPlayer, sitting down and watching this story with Richard E. Grant. The reason I remember watching it back in school is because I remember watching it every single day in school, and it annoyed my teacher so much. I was actually banned from the computer for quite a while because I just kept going back and rewatching this story. And then, of course, this became available on YouTube for quite a long time. When I was in secondary school, I remember watching this in room 10 at my old school, secondary school, Thomas Adams. I remember sitting down watching this story in like little area that in the classroom. I remember watching this quite a lot. I've always remember watching this one. I even watched this when I stopped over at my aunt and uncle's, my auntie Vicky and Uncle Dale's back in 2005. I remember sitting down watching this on my auntie's laptop. It's a great story. I mean, the DVD version, this DVD didn't get a release until 2013, when the story actually became available for Doctor Who fans to enjoy. Where for quite a long time, the only way you could watch it was on YouTube or on BBC iPlayer. It was available on BBC iPlayer in 2003. Now, I believe this was actually broadcast originally weekly. It's a great Doctor Who story. Now, believe it or not, this story was actually written by Paul Cornell. Again, I think he's a great Doctor Who writer. I would actually like to see him come back to write for modern Doctor Who. Scream of the Shalka is just a great story. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. It's 100% great. Absolutely fantastic. Richard Grant gives a great performance as the 9th Doctor before Eccleston. This is before Eccleston was announced. So, really, this is the one thing I want to do a review on. There will be a review coming on at some point, because I'm going to be rewatching the Peter Cushing Dalek movie soon. That is the whole plan. There will be a review coming out on Doctor Who and the Daleks and the Dalek Invasion of Earth 20 AD. Because I got 2 DVD versions of this story. I got the Dalek collection and the Doctor Who movie collection. So I'm literally just going to go and grab them and show you. So, bear with me. So here we go. There will be a review coming out on these 2 DVDs of the Peter Cushing movies. I am going to be sitting down and rewatching them soon. So there will be a whole review coming out on these 2 movies. I have watched them before. I haven't really watched them in a long time, because I've been mainly watching Doctor Who completely. So if I was to say to anybody, if there was any Doctor Who non-canon stuff would I recommend? Yes, there is. Scream of the Shalka, I would actually highly recommend. I highly do recommend this because it is great. It has this. It builds up the stuff from classic Doctor Who. It is absolutely great. Absolutely 100% fantastic. Curse of Fatal Death, I would actually recommend this one as well, because again, it is in when we have these 2 were actually in the wonderless years of Doctor Who, where we had no Doctor Who going on in the gap between 1989 and 2005. Although we did have the TV movie in between that period, so really Doctor Who was off the air for 16 years. In a way, it was, because we only had the TV movie in 1996, but we did have 3 things going on. We have the official Doctor Who the movie with Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor, and then we have these 2 non-canon stuff that was in the gap as well, before it came back in 2005 with Christopher Eccleston. So if I was to recommend out of these 2 which ones highly to recommend, I would actually try and recommend Scream of the Shalka. Scream of the Shalka is available on DVD, where Curse of Fatal Death is only available on YouTube, so you can actually go and sit down and watch it on YouTube, or you can actually watch it on VHS like I have. So yeah, that's the one thing I have to say. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this review. Would you like to follow my recommendation to watch these two? And join me next time for another Doctor Who review or Doctor Who content video. There will be a review coming up in the next couple of weeks. I can't say when I'm sat down to watch these two Dalek movies, because in the middle I am watching my brand new VHS tapes and I've got some new DVDs that I need to watch before I get to the rewatch of the Peter Cushing movies. So thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me tomorrow for another Doctor Who video content. Have a great day, and I am gone.